Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Here we go, another episode of Two in the Cooler. Thank you guys for tuning in, watching, listening. You got to follow us, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Two in the Cooler. Posting a lot of great clips on there. And subscribe to the YouTube page. Full episodes, a lot of highlights. Best way to get the podcast, in my personal opinion. What are you going to do? I like to watch my podcast, so sue me. Awesome episode today. A ton of Bills talk. We've got our old pal Bernie on, who runs the Instagram account buffmafia_716, which if you're a Bills fan, I don't know why you don't follow, because he's a blast to talk to. He's a cool dude, man. You guys are really gonna like this episode. Last time we had him on, he was our last Discord interview that we did, actually. That was the last episode, like before we got the studio. So now he's finally in studio, and it was awesome. You guys are going to really, really like it, I think. But before we get into that, as always, we got to start with Instacart. Instacart, folks, it's the best way to get not just groceries, but some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour. Back to school time, things are starting to heat up. Okay, now that you're a couple weeks in, maybe you start to realize, oh, I need more supplies than I thought. I need another notebook for this class or this lab. I need some colored pencils, or maybe I just want colored pencils so I can doodle in class. That's what I did through most of college, was doodling, and I wish that I had used Instacart to get myself some nice pens delivered super quick. I wouldn't have to go to the store, because I hate going to basically all stores, especially grocery stores. That's why you have to use Instacart. It's the best thing to do, without a doubt. Avoid going to the grocery store. Why make your life harder on yourself? Just start using Instacart. The best part is, right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do is spend $10 and you get free delivery. That's a crazy deal, folks. Hit the link in the show description and get yourself that deal. Start using Instacart today. You're not going to regret it. Also, another link in the show description is the merch link. A lot of very exciting stuff coming up with merch. Like I said before, we're going to keep you guys posted on it. It's going to be really, really cool. Right now, you can check it out, teespring.com/stores/2inthecooler. We got logo merch, hashtag pizza tipping, Matt Can't Read, sweatshirts, t-shirts, all kinds of top quality stuff. I hate when you order something from a show that you love and it's that cheap ass material. Because here's the thing. Let me let you in on a little industry secret. The reason you get all that cheap stuff is because people are buying these products in bulk to sell to you. With teespring.com, everything is made to order. So it's super comfortable stuff. Okay? I'm talking Tri-Blend, folks. Tri-Blend t-shirts. That's Target quality material, man. You're not going to get that from any other show except right here, Two in the Cooler. So check out teespring.com/store/2inthecooler. Get yourself something nice, something classy, something that's going to make you look good and feel good. We appreciate you guys. Here is the episode. You're going to love it a lot. Thank you for listening.
Oh, we're going. We're live. Yeah, no, that's in there now.
Forever. I mean, it's rolling.
Yeah.
But whether it goes or not.
No, it's going.
Oh, all right.
I see the numbers counting up.
I'm making sure. Yeah, it had a little technical thing at the top.
Ain't no thing. We haven't dealt with technical issues in a while.
Well, it's because I'm
you're
so good at what I do that since we've moved in here, we haven't had too many things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also,
tire pump.
It's what's weird is actually the last time you were on, Bernie, I was here, but I think it was like literally the episode before we.
Yeah, you were
in
the studio, really? Like testing out the Wi-Fi and stuff.
Yeah, I think
the episode.
You were our last Discord interview.
I'm honored. I'm going down in Two in the Cooler history.
Yeah, that's true. Forever and always in our hearts. Discord.
But
Craig,
we appreciate you coming here, Bernie, proprietor of the world famous Buff Mafia _716 Instagram account. This is going to be a pretty heavy football podcast. Obviously, we got a lot of Bill stuff to talk about. But because I just saw you post this, I wanted to bring it up. Norm Macdonald died.
Rip to the goat. I mean, that genuinely ruined my day yesterday.
It ruined. Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Matthew's not plugged in like the rest of us.
Can I get a breakdown?
Yeah. Norm was stand-up comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live. He had his own shows. He had like a YouTube show, and then he was on this Netflix show, and he was like,
He was the man.
he really was.
You know, Pigeon and Mike Tyson. You definitely have heard his voice.
Yeah.
I know who this guy is. He's Canadian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah, I
Canadian.
know who this guy is.
He's
He
Canadian.
is super Canadian. I would
Yeah.
describe him as super Canadian.
Yeah. Just totally broke down the barriers. Was an absolute, comedic icon. He was a guy that it's so funny too, because I was on the ride over here. I was listening to WGR, and even they brought it up. And he was a guy that made the entire, whether it was, regular people or a room full of comedians, he was always the funniest in the room. Like he was making the masters of comedy crack up, and that says a lot.
Yeah, it really does. It's hard to I can't really describe his style. It was just
Give
dark.
us an
like,
impression.
It was
Dark,
It
long,
was dry. Oh my
setup.
god, the way that. Oh my god.
Can you give us an impression?
No, I can't.
Come on. That was not good.
That's not terrible.
I would have to remember one of his like he would this
see?
this lady and she told me stop she fucking bitch, like you just that basically that was that was
And then we laugh.
yeah and that's that's the norm. No, but he was fantastic. That was not doing Norm Macdonald. He was incredible.
Yeah, some of his there's some Conan ones in particular that come to mind where he'd sit out there and he'd start this story for 2.5 minutes, and the punchline, there's this one I'm thinking of where he told this long thing for I said 2.5 minutes, and then the punchline was something about dolphins. It was he was searching for his porpoise, and and everybody obviously groaned in the audience, and he just it was awesome. The way he could kind of do that and captivate people, he forced all those people to sit and listen to him, and he knew what he had.
He's in on it.
He was so good. And also, quite possibly the best Weekend Update anchor of all time. It's hard on how you measure that, but
I'd put him number one.
Yeah.
He has and one of my favorite things, and he was doing this so late in his career too, where he would take on his YouTube account, I'm Not Norm, or his YouTube channel, whatever. Hilarious. He would take mashups of the Weekend Update. My favorite one was the Norm. He would title it Norm Macdonald shitting on OJ for 15 minutes on Weekend Update. Hilarious. Just as no OJ. But he was just hilarious, unbelievable, incredible.
Yeah, those OJ jokes were
I've been hearing a lot
unbelievable.
about OJ lately that his son is the
back.
one. It was his son that committed the murders. That's what I heard, a rumor.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
After watching that documentary, they definitely made it look like that. I don't know if you guys saw the Netflix documentary.
I did.
Is that recent?
I did.
It was
No. It was few parts. It was 7
Yeah.
episodes, kind
Wasn't
of.
that
had a
the-
crazy
that,
cast.
That's different from that ESPN thing though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had
Oh, okay.
this was Travolta, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah,
It was
on-
it was only
yeah.
one season though.
Was it on
That's the
FX
documentary?
maybe first, or was it strictly
Yeah, it was an
Netflix?
FX
Yeah,
show.
I think. Okay.
That sounds right.
Because that's the one. It's
Yeah, so that's
They-
the trials or whatever.
they
Yep.
It's called American Crime Story. It's a series that they did. They started with OJ, and it was supposed to be just that, and then obviously that was huge. So then I think they did the Versace murders. Which I guess Versace.
Oh
was
yeah,
murdered.
Nice.
that's on Netflix though, right? That's a Netflix one.
No, they're all FX.
Oh,
they might
really?
be
Maybe
on
they're
Netflix now,
too, 'cause
but
I've
they're
seen that
doing
Versace thing.
the Bill Clinton Monica Lewinsky one.
I
is
saw
coming
that.
out
I'm excited for that one
soon.
That should be
Yeah, I
electric.
think that's gonna be
hilarious.
nice.
It's that Beanie Feldstein is gonna be Monica Lewinsky.
Really?
It looks like I didn't watch the OJ one or any of them, but this Clinton one looks it looks weird. It looks kind of caricature-ish. She in the clips they show of Beanie Feldstein being Monica Lewinsky, she looks kind of she's got this crazy look in her eye. And then Clive Owen is playing Bill Clinton, and they got him in a fake chin and stuff, which they dressed up Travolta real weird in that OJ one, right?
He wore a lot of eyeliner, I feel like, in that documentary.
Right.
A lot of eyeliner, a lot of old man strength,
Yeah.
and anger I was getting from Travolta in that one. Maybe that was, a good representation of Shapiro at the time. That was.
Oh, right, because David Schwimmer was Rob Kardashian.
Yeah, that was wild.
Okay, yeah,
that was hilarious.
I've never watched the Kardashian, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians before, but apparently this past season was their final season. The show's done and over with.
Rip.
And my girlfriend watches it. So I happened to be present while she was watching, not the last episode, but they did like I don't know what they call it, like a panel. You know, they had them all sit down and talked about like all
the
20
last episode of The Office.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It was like
that
yes.
kind of vibe.
And they were asking some hysterical questions, and they did ask Chloe something, and like her paternity got brought up. They were like, "Do you feel, like,
Do you
have
feel
ever
like
felt
OJ's daughter?"
excluded because of the whole like controversy regarding your paternity?" And they were like, all of a sudden, all started saying some dumb shit like, "Oh, people thought something because they did like Ancestry.com, and she was like 11% more Armenian or some shit." And they were talking about it, but
That had to come up.
That's so that's the
Dude,
only.
she looks like the pictures of her as a kid. Like she looks like OJ Simpson.
She is OJ. I'm without a doubt convinced that
She
is
is
a spawn
OJ?
of OJ Simpson.
Oh, okay.
He
Yeah.
responded to that on Twitter. Did you hear OJ's response? He responds to that. He is, wow, the fact that he's still around.
Yeah, and he
crazy.
loves Twitter.
He's
Like, he
great
he's a
on
great
Twitter.
loves
He's a
putting
great
himself
follow.
out there. Yeah.
Everyone's commenting things like, "You did it," and he's like going along with it. He's like, "Yeah, I did." Like, what? Like, oh, what? That was okay. Yeah, he's something. Can't be stopped.
No.
Juice is loose. Yeah.
Well, what are you gonna do now that the Broncos back?
I was just about to say that. Now that you can buy a white Bronco,
Yep.
Yeah.
everything's right in
I
America.
don't know if they sell it in white. Actually,
I swear to
Don't
God,
they
I've
probably
seen
do?
them.
Do they?
I don't
I
know.
swear to
I
God,
hope
I've
they
seen
do.
the new ones in white.
They've got
I,
it.
yeah. I
So
don't
many
really
people are
even
getting
like
that.
the new ones, but I have been kind of out of the loop on like TV shows, documentaries, which is something that I usually do a lot of, and the reason being is because one, I've been watching the Harry Potter series again since on HBO Max because you have to,
You have to. Classic.
and two, I've been watching NCIS still religiously. So there's 15 seasons on Netflix. I've officially started season 15.
Wow.
But the show is still on. I saw an ad
I know.
during the football games on Sunday. The new season starts like next week. I'm like, this couldn't be more perfect timing.
Dude,
All the stars are aligning.
Yeah.
For football season.
I just can't. Mark Harmon's got to have so much money. Like,
Where-
that guy's just got to be rolling in it. And, like,
See, I
Nobody knows
think he's
who
the
the
type
fuck
of guy.
he is,
I think
though.
he's taking hometown deals in his contracts just to keep making the show. I think he's like, yeah.
well,
I'll
that's
take
a big,
pay cut.
but he's a producer now. Like, the guy's rolling
he's
in
definitely
it.
rich.
And if
And he
he
still
walked
rocks
into a
just the same
Starbucks,
haircut.
nobody would give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he's
Who?
it's
I
literally
would.
the perfect job.
I would care. I'd be.
Yeah, like
I'd be
you
pumped.
and like
All my
everybody's
grandmas.
grandma would
Yeah.
know. Yes, dude.
Yeah.
I've never seen our grandma move so fast than when she realized one time that she was missing NCIS. I was literally like sitting in a chair talking, and then she goes, "Oh shit!" And well, she didn't say shit, but she was like, "Oh my god, NCIS is on!" And she was like 80 years old or something when that
Moving.
happened. Yeah, seriously, gotta do it. Gotta do it for Marky Mark, my Marky Mark. Hashtag the real Marky Mark, Mark Harmon.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
Yeah. No.
So let's get into football because I have a lot of things that I think we got to break down. So, and just to go a little bit more too into what Buff Mafia _716, the Instagram page is, the one that you run. It's all Bills all the time. You're breaking everything down. You're letting the people see what they need to see. So that's what we're here to talk about today is football. So we're coming up on week 2. Week 1 was a disappointment in a lot of ways.
It's an understatement.
So I feel a lot of different ways about this, and I've also listened to a lot of, WGR, stuff like that, of people having mixed opinions, but I kind of want to hear your take on it first.
Just week 1 or like.
Yeah, you can break it down into, week 1, but, talk about what you want. You can offense,
Going
defense,
forward. Yeah, week 1, and that's another time where I found myself at a football game very glad I was seeing it in person because I think the Tyrod years were very much very much showed that you don't really get the full picture of a game unless you're either there or you've watched it like multiple times.
Yeah.
Is what I really think. And I did both. I was there, and then when I got home, I'm like, what happened? What did I miss? My dad was telling me Josh missed way more passes than I thought. My assessment of week 1, I don't like to always just go to up front and blame it on the line, but it really is where football starts and ends, And I think offensively, that was really the offensive line for the Bills. which is a little concerning because you've got a whole unit basically returning. You've extended multiple guys. That was really where the Bills fell apart on Sunday, I think. And that's, again, credit to the Steelers. They didn't even need to blitz. They were rushing 3 and 4 and generating pressure on a consistent basis on the Bills offense. And they did not have Dable did not have an answer. So whether you want to blame it on coaching, whether you want to blame it on the offensive line itself, it's really, it doesn't really matter. The game's over. I've really tried to adopt this mentality. I think the Bills fans need to do this too because we've been so accustomed to winning the last year. Trying to get that, next game, put it behind us. But we were 13-3 last season. We were 15-4 if you count, the playoffs. Bills are a winning team now. And I think people, like you just said, disappointment, it's an understatement for week 1. I think looking ahead to the Dolphins, there needs to be some changes made from an offensive coaching perspective. I'm still very confused about the lack of use of Reggie Gilliam, a guy that got tons of looks in the preseason. We saw a couple short yardage situations, Moss inactive. I think a lot of people anticipated that might be the guy in some of those short yardage situations and blocking, because I do think Moss is our best pass protecting running back. And when you take into account that the Steelers' pressure was such an issue on Sunday, looking forward to the Dolphins, you got a defensive-minded head coach, a solid defense. I'm not anticipating there to be that consistent pressure every play with 3 and 4 guys, but I do worry about that secondary. And they've got some players in that secondary in Miami where if you're a Bills team coming off a loss like you did this week 1, you've got a game plan for that. And that's going to come down to Dable. A little bit, I don't want to get into the Josh thing. I still love Josh. I still think he had a solid game personally. I think he missed some reads. But, being there in person, I could see dudes were not open, and there was pressure there consistently. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That's kind of my reaction to week 1 in a nutshell. Really focusing on the offensive side. I liked what our defense gave us, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that take. I think our defense, did their job. Offensively, we didn't put up points. And a couple missed throws, two deep balls in specific that I think come to mind. Yeah. And he had Diggs on 1 too, I believe. I think it was 1 and 1.
The Sanders one went viral. Everyone was freaking out about that because he was streaking open. But.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, and who knows though, because that ball is barely overthrown and you have Sanders looking back over his shoulder, angling to the middle, and the ball kind of floating to the outside. So that can almost be a miscommunication before the snap even. You know what I mean? So there's, I have a side story. This guy, I was in my car the other day driving, and this guy calls WGR, and he's losing his mind, saying that somebody's got to sit down and have a talk with Allen, and if he doesn't perform in the first half of the Dolphins game, Trubisky's got to go in, like going crazy. And they're sitting there listening to him. I don't remember what time it was. I don't remember what show it was, but they're like, this is the most ridiculous take we've heard all day. Like, you have a quarterback who was averaging, running an offense that averaged over 30 points a game last year, and a fantastic 13-3 regular season.
Yep.
Like, just got paid close to $300 million, and he has one bad week against a very, very good Pittsburgh Steelers team that started the season 11-0 last year, and you're ready to just throw it all away. Like, it, yeah. But
that's a wild take. That's one of the more wild ones,
yeah.
Right? Especially with the contract extension. I think that's where disappointment and frustration comes into for the Bills fans, is coming off that contract extension.
So, well, I have 2 other questions too. So you talked, a little bit about the running back situation. I didn't think Singletary played that bad of a game.
No, I didn't think
he had some good rushes too.
I agree.
The Zach Moss inactive thing, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
They talked about it a little bit in the pregame that maybe he just wasn't performing like at practice. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't watch it, so it's hard to say. And then looking forward at the Dolphins. So you were at the game, driving home during the 4 o'clock slate. I sat down and got to watch the Dolphins-Patriots game. So this is going to be half about the Dolphins, half about the Patriots. The Dolphins' offense, you know what you're going to get from Tua at this point. At least at this point in his career. I'm not saying that maybe one day he won't improve, but as of right now, he's, to me, not a great quarterback in the NFL. He didn't really look good this past week. They barely snuck it out. He threw a bad interception and got lucky on a fumble from a New England running back to save them the game, right? New England was driving to win the game. They were down 1 point. Mac Jones I thought looked really good. I was surprised. I had told you beforehand that one of my mortal locks of the week was Miami Moneyline. Miami was coming into this game as underdogs, playing against a rookie quarterback, a guy who's never played a snap in the NFL, and with one of the best secondaries in the league, a secondary that led the NFL in interceptions last year with 18. So how can you look at a rookie quarterback and say, like, he's going to go in and beat this defense? And I thought he did a great job. He managed the game well. You know, I mean, he made some rookie mistakes, but for the most part, it was almost a little nerve-wracking as a Bills fan watching him play, because it's like, you know, that was his first game against a fairly good defense. He didn't play outstanding, but he played better than I wanted him to play. I wanted him to go in there and play like, you know, a rookie quarterback playing against the best secondary in the league. I started the Miami defense in fantasy. I'm like, he's going to go in there and throw 4 picks, and he did not do that. So I think that when you talk about Bills versus Dolphins, the Steelers came at the Bills with a different look this season, right? They played some close games last year, or they played close last year. You know, Josh Allen was able to play fantastic in those situations. I think they threw some new looks at him, the way they bring pressure. When it comes to the Dolphins, do you agree or disagree that unless something drastic has changed that I don't know about, he should know the majority of looks they're going to give him? And I don't think they're going to pressure him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen, since he came into the league, and this is something it's so funny because we used to call Tyrod this, he is a Dolphin killer. Josh Allen against the Dolphins is fantastic. You know, whether it was the running the guy over last year and then just picking up 10 more yards, whether it was burning the very solid corners with, like, John Brown. It wasn't even really Diggs. I remember I think it was week 2 last year they played the Dolphins. It was early in the year.
It was week 2.
Week 2. So, you know, you think about that. He should know what he's getting. But I don't underestimate. I do think Brian Flores is a really solid head coach. You know, the Belichick coaching tree. Special teams, defense. The offense, like you said, though, that is just 0% concerning to me. I don't think Tua's a threat. I think Mac Jones is going to be way better than Tua. If you're a Bills fan, it's early, like you said. It's 1 week. Mac Jones, we don't know what's going to happen. But I am much more worried about Mac Jones long-term than I am Tua, partly because he's paired up with Belichick in New England. I think Tua sucks.
Yeah,
I think
me
Tua's
too.
trash.
I was hesitant to say, well, and again, it's only 1 game, but, you know, you look
Overreaction.
at last year, no preseason. He's coming in off of that hip surgery.
Yep.
You don't know what you're going to get. As of right now, he showed me nothing in that game.
He doesn't scare
Honestly,
me.
you want to know who he looked like? He was very Tyrod Taylor-esque, in my opinion.
Check down
He was
king.
getting out of the pocket too early. Check down king. Yeah, all the above. So I had another point to bring up about this Dolphins game, and it slipped my mind.
I mean, I'll piggyback off of really quick Tua because I would love to crap on Tua as much as I can in the allotted time that I have. Because you know the Alabama quarterbacks too. We're looking. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be way better than Tua.
Jalen Hurts looked very good in week 1.
Yeah, he looked fantastic in week 1. I don't even know if I think Max personally. I think Max will be the best of the 3, but not that any of them are really going to be like game-changing quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't really see any of those 3 being that kind of guy. But Tua, I'm not afraid of Tua.
No, not at all. And so then so the last thing I was going to bring up was special teams. Obviously, the punt block, that was the killer in the game.
Yep.
Shit like that just can't happen. Same thing happened kind of in the Cleveland game, right? They're up on the Chiefs, and they're looking good, and their punter fumbles the snap and falls on the ball, gives the Chiefs short yardage, back of the end zone in 30 seconds, right?
You're talking Browns Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough to watch. That was one game I did get to see right when I got home.
So my point with that being is if you're going to, when I'm watching the Bills game, when I was watching the Bills game on Sunday, 4 out of the 5 experts had the Bills playing in the Super Bowl this year. Only one of them had the Chiefs, which is rare to see as a Buffalo fan. So if you want to be able to compete with teams like the Chiefs, you can't make those mistakes. And lastly, on that note, Isaiah Mckenzie, you know, I know he did something with his shoulder, but I mean, right from the start, he runs that football back, gives us great field position, electric. I was nervous. I loved, who is it? Andre Roberts, right? Is that who?
Yeah, Andre Roberts. Yeah,
he was an ace as far as returns go. He was averaging like 20 yards a return, blah, blah.
Put us in great positions.
But a lot of people say, and I wanted to re-sign him. A lot of people said no, like Mckenzie's has, you know, he has that breakaway ability. And I'm like, well, you know, would you rather have good field position or a touchdown every couple games, right? And But he looked great.
Well, he's a guy that contributes on offense, too.
Yes.
Like, Andre Roberts doesn't run the routes. And I
No.
tell you what, Broncos fans were pissed right when they lost him.
Yeah.
Because he was with the Broncos.
Yeah, and I mean, we have such a talented wide receiver group. He doesn't necessarily get a lot of throws, but he's got the speed. He works when we run that jet sweep. He kind of, I feel like, is going to fill a John Brown role when it comes to that stuff. Maybe not catch the footballs. I'd say Sanders is probably there for that. And then the last thing is Gabe Davis didn't practice today, so out with an ankle injury. So how do you think that affects our offense?
Yeah, I saw that. I think that it was a new addition. It doesn't sound super serious, but let's just say hypothetically, because this could happen at any point this season. Let's say Gabe Davis isn't out there. I think not having Gabe Davis is a way bigger loss than not having Emmanuel Sanders.
Me too.
I'll just say that. And that's not a knock on Emmanuel Sanders. I think Gabe Davis is extremely underrated. That whole receiver class was loaded.
And I think he only continues to learn from a guy like Stephon Diggs. I think they have very similar playing styles. I think he's going to be kind of the Bills' secret weapon going forward this year when it comes to, our high-flying passing offense, because the NFL knows who Stephon Diggs is now, right? If they didn't already before. And he's still going to be able to create space. That's what he does. He's one of the best route runners in the NFL. But there is going to be times where he's going to be covered, and I think Gabe Davis is going to make a difference in those instances.
Gabe Davis, and you got to hope Beasley too can build off of what he did the last really several seasons with Josh. I think they've developed a really nice rapport. He's one of the slipperiest, wiggliest receivers in the league.
And
Cole
he plays,
Beasley.
I think he's when I picture a slot receiver, I picture Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley plus a few pounds and inches, but no, but he's able to do it. At this tiny size, it's really cool. So
yeah, and he didn't play bad. He, I can think of one drop. I can think of one drop in particular that I would have liked him to caught. One Josh put at his feet. You can't blame him there.
That was the short one. It was a screen or something.
So I think, I mean, when you look at the offense as a whole, the play calling wasn't necessarily great. It's week 1. I was curious. I kind of had a weird feeling going into this game because you've seen the Bills' offense, specifically last season, when they needed it, or not necessarily when they needed it, but when it was time to put teams away, they would pull out, all the stops kind of.
They'd throw a 40-yard bomb. It was so unique the way they were doing it. They weren't running the ball. They would literally just stab the defense in the heart one at a time.
And so I think almost the way that the game got called to me looked like they didn't want to let on too much. They didn't want to pull out all the stops early. I mean, they did try some weird shit. That one, I don't know, fourth and one. That was one of the craziest play calls I've ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? That's another one where if it works, you're a genius.
If it works, you're like, right. What a play call. Josh Allen just turned around and threw
never
a
would have
dart.
seen that.
Yeah.
That was fucking stupid.
I think we talked about this. I know I keep saying it's the last thing, but then they keep popping into my head. I think we talked about this last time you were on, but the only other thing that I didn't really like from that game was a lot of the designed QB runs, the draws where he drops back. It's a delayed run. I feel like they do that because in their mind, when Allen's not going necessarily right, they use it to they use it to get him in the game, right? They use him to get involved, then he starts making those throws. But I think that every time I've seen that happen, because that's every game that those plays start to come out are games where it seems like Josh Allen's maybe not hitting the throws that he's capable of hitting. And I really feel like they use that as something like, okay, Josh, get in the game. You know what I mean? Have a good run, and then you'll be here mentally and ready to go. And
another way to look at that, I think let's use the Titans, for example. That could just be the lack of an actual running game, because a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of offenses have a running game like the Chiefs, perfect example. Yeah. They have Edwards-Helaire. They can run the ball. We don't. I mean, and to your point, I do think Singletary had a good day. For whatever reason, they don't feel like they can have a running game they can rely on. That might be part of it, but I do agree. It seems like whenever that's the case, he's having an off day throwing the ball. But again, that could just be you literally are the most one-dimensional you can be when you're in 5 wide, lining up in shotgun. Maybe maybe the quarterback runs. That's not enough to keep a defense honest, I don't think.
Yeah, I would agree. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to Sunday. The game is in Miami.
Bills, Packers, Miami. Very pumped for that one. They're fired up. It's gonna be a fun one. I think it's gonna be a great game. Yeah, I would love to look forward. That Steelers game, we gotta put that on the back burner because that is just. It was just brutal. Miami, that's going to be fun. That's going to be electric. I think that, we're wearing blue jerseys, white pants, the classic Buffalo Bills look. Josh is going to be cooking. Josh is going to be serving up some mahi-mahi. It's going to be electric.
I needed somebody to say it. Once I hear it in my ears, I'm
as soon as Matthew hears mahi-mahi, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, get Jim Kelly that the blue crab. Did you guys know about that? Him and Marino, Jim Kelly and Marino. Whenever the Bills sweep the Dolphins, Marino, I think, treats him to like some crazy nice like blue crab dinner, some crazy seafood thing. And then whenever the Bills sweep the Dolphins, so last year it must have happened, Jim Kelly, or no, vice versa. When the Dolphins did not happen last year, when the Dolphins sweep the Bills, whenever that happens, which is very rare, Kelly prepares these like 2 huge steaks or whatever for him and Marino. I just think that's hilarious. That's such a
as
weird...
like a sorry.
No,
it's like a for ongoing bet.
Yeah.
Like
so
bet.
whenever the Bills sweep the Dolphins, Marino has to make him crab.
Okay, yeah.
That's I might have fucked that up, but yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, got it.
There's some fine dining gifts exchanged whenever there's a sweep. I guess with the Bills and the Dolphins.
Wow.
Done.
So, go ahead, Andy.
No, nothing. That just says a lot about the way those teams went at each other back in the day, and that's why we have that rivalry with Miami is because of those 2 guys, and for them to have that bet still going, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, kind of cool.
So we talked a bunch of Bills football. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the account itself. Buff Mafia _716. It's the Bills backer account that you run. You post a lot of great content on there. You're doing you're going Instagram Live, doing breakdowns, all that stuff like that. Well, I read it like religiously as a Bills fan. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, here's information. I don't have to go look at what some blue check mark's saying. Yeah. I get to, hear an actual person's opinion. So, for the people who don't know the Instagram account, the people who might not have been listening to our show when you were on the first time, what are some kind of content things that you're trying to get out that come out consistently that people can look forward to as far as following the Bills this season?
Yeah. So one thing I've kind of geared my attention towards a little bit more this season is just kind of like the game day posts. I think Instagram. I'm not a huge fan of the Instagram platform in general. I think there's better ones out there. It's kind of just the one I've like attached myself to for whatever reason. I like the format. I love all my followers. It's such a engaging page. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is that the game day post. I just love how many comments I'm getting. Like just comment people and go and not even just comments. Like people commenting and then other people commenting to that comment. It's really cool to see people like talk about it and really hear what people think because like you said, I do get sick of listening to the check marks. That's kind of the whole idea behind this account is what do the actual fans think? What are the people that actually glue their eyeballs to the screen the most for this team? What are their actual takeaways? And yeah, that's I guess kind of what I'm more moving towards is like, I don't want to say like forum, but like a place for Bills fans to all kind of just like talk. Like whenever I do the live streams, I read almost every comment if I can. I try to go live with people. Connection sometimes sucks. That's never been. No, I haven't figured that out yet. How to consistently go live with someone and not have it just completely fuck up the connection. But that's kind of what I'm moving towards more. I try to take it easy with video because I don't ever want to get copyrighted or something like that. I try to give as much credit as I can whenever I do post something that's not mine. I'll always say video via whatever, photo via the photographer or whoever's I try to give as much credit as I can. So I guess kind of moving away from highlights and stuff like that, moving more towards discussion posts and kind of what's going on current event wise for the Bills, staying in the here and now kind of.
Which is why I like it. So, I know we got a lot of Bills fans out there listening. Go check that out. Get involved in the conversation.
Yeah. It seems like you've been ramping up the lives.
I like the lives more.
I like watching those. Like that is I tune in to like everyone.
Well, I think you fucked one up before, didn't you? Didn't you go
No
live?
way.
What?
Oh, maybe I went live with you or something. Maybe. That's not your fault, though. That's
No, I don't think so.
Maybe.
I feel like I saw that.
We got to do it if not. Yeah, let's do that.
But it's cool to see that turn with you ramping that up more because it's doing exactly what you want it to do. Like, I like that you're attaching yourself more to it now. You know what I mean? Like,
yes, I am.
Yeah, you're.
It's become my account. It is my
Exactly.
personal account. I don't have a personal account anymore. I am Buff Mafia _716. Like, I follow, all my friends follow it. It's hilarious how many Jets fans I'm friends with from college that all grew up in the Long Island area that all follow this account, and it's really funny because they all comment. Like, what was the comment yesterday? My friend Jimmy, shout out Jimmy, Jets fan. He comments. He's like, "Do you think we're in for a Josh Allen regression year?" Like after the week, just shit like that. It's just hilarious, and I know they don't actually think it. It's just kind of like trolling. I know there's Dolphins fans that I'm friends with that follow it. Yeah, and I appreciate you noticing. I do like doing the live videos more. Not that I don't like writing some of those longer posts. I still do that. I did, like, last night I did a Zach Moss discussion post, just seeing what people think. Like, what could that have made a difference in the game? Why was Reggie Gilliam not used more? But with the live streams, I've personally become more comfortable, I think, just plopping myself down in front of a camera and just talking, like, and interacting with people too through the live feed. It's fun, you know. I think that's fun for Bills fans. Just talk it up, just see what do people think. My favorite one, you guys, I'm sure you were on this one because this had usual average around 10 to 15 viewers at a time, and I'll end with about 100 total that have watched it over like a 20-minute period. The Bills-Cardinals game last year, after the game, that was one of the funniest moments of my life. Going live, and I had I think 400, people that didn't even follow the account just saw that it was unbelievable. Right. How many people at a time the comments were hilarious, just like, what just happened? What did we just watch? Hail Mary. It's a fun time.
What happened in that live? Like, what were you doing in that live?
So what I did, I got in my normal setup. I got behind my Flutie Flakes, got behind my TOs, my Jacks, my Josh's Jacks. I was pretty. I was really just shocked. Like, I think everyone was just. It was really just the comments were so funny. Just everyone's like laughing, crying emojis every 2 seconds. All my friends are on there. Just I'm getting calls the whole time. I have to keep telling people I'm sorry. My phone's blowing up right now because we just lost on the Hail Mary. I was drinking. It was it was a Sunday night game. Right? It was a night game. Yeah. I remember it was the first game I watched with my family that year. I'd been watching them all at college, and it was my first game I went home for. And I remember my mom just being like, "What do you mean we lost?" Like, she didn't it didn't comprehend. My dad and I were just silent. We're like, "What is going on?" I'm gonna go do a live stream, guys. And they all tuned in. All my I've never seen so many people on one live stream. I understand it because it was so funny. Everyone wants to see a Bills fan's reaction. I was pissed. I try not to swear on the live streams, mainly because I never know if my grandma's going to pop on. But,
your grandma's on Instagram?
She is now on Instagram. We literally got her in the last month to because she loves the Bills, and we always tell her about the account, and we're like, it's not that hard to just download the app and follow one, because I'm pretty sure one of the only accounts she follows. And I had a conversation with her about it the other day. I'm like, Grandma, I hope you know, I censor what I say largely in part because I never know if you're gonna hear it. And she's like, I don't care.
You got to get your grandma to do a live with you.
Yeah, that would be electric.
If she's a big Bills fan, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's. I got a lot of. I don't want to call them bucket lists, but a lot of check marks to hit as far as the live stream experience. I got to do a little bit more. I know I don't usually have the players come on, but I do have the players sometimes show up in my DM. My favorite is when I was DMing Richie Incognito, and this is at the height of his. I think he had just left the Bills, and I don't know how he was responding to me on the DMs. And this is back when I had probably 7,000 or 8,000. I was like, why are you even talking to me? And then I realized it's Richie Incognito, and the guy's batshit. So kind of he's just doing that with his free time. He's just DMing accounts. So it's fun. I love the account. I appreciate you guys are freaking fantastic supporters. I love your guys. I watch all your guys' videos too in the cooler, the Instagram, the YouTube's great, Spotify. Yeah, I wish I was dipping my toes in more platforms, but Instagram's kind of just where I found my home. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really good for those discussion things that you're doing. Yeah. And I mean, I said it already, but I really like that you're doing the live stuff because I feel like that helps with what you're trying to do. Putting a face to the account, right? I bet you a lot of people are commenting because they know you and they're like, oh, Bernie's gonna see this. Even people that aren't your pals.
Yeah. Oh no, I wouldn't really call them friends, but I've made a lot of relationships, I guess, through this account. People I wouldn't be the same, I guess, with some of these guys that always comment. I got this one guy, he will DM me, I think 7 times a game. And I think, Raymond, if you're watching this, Ray Money, I think you've changed your account name too. He will just bitch about Tyler Bass the entire before the game has even started. I hope we don't let fucking Bass get out there. Better keep him on the side. What is going on? I think it's kind of a joke at this point, but he it's just stuff like that. It's just I would
I was going to say, I mean, with the exception of like the first like week maybe last year, what is his vendetta against?
I don't know. I think he just never like let it go. He never let it go. The one eye black, I guess, pisses him off. I don't know. I love Tyler Bass, the fish with a leg. Yeah, it's just hilarious. It's a good time. It's fun, and I live for those moments. Like even in a loss, like the Cardinals game, that was one of my favorite memories as a Bills fan. Like everyone getting on, and it was just we all just kind of came together. We're just like, what the fuck just happened? Like that is. I'll never forget that. It was fun. So,
yeah, that's a good point.
That's fun. I mean, you bond with people more over that than I think you do. Like I went live after the Colts win, the Ravens win. Had a ton of people on there too, but it wasn't the same like level of like, oh, we are all in this together. Like
I wonder
if that makes sense.
I wish I could remember what week that was because for whatever reason, I think I was also watching it at our parents' house.
I think it was week 8,
I remember I was at work, but I think I
it had to have been like around Christmas time. Maybe?
It was mid to late season.
It was pretty close to Christmas
because I was definitely watching it at home.
It might have been.
I was at home too for some reason. I don't really remember why.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like Thanksgiving. Maybe
I think everyone just tried to forget that game as fast as they could.
Well, it was such a
crazy game.
Swing, like the end of it was the unforgettable touchdown throw to Diggs.
Yeah,
followed by just and in Kyler Murray's defense, he looked great week 1 too. He was slinging the ball. I think he was the highest rated fantasy quarterback this weekend.
Fantasy wise, because he had 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
total touchdowns.
Well, Jameis Winston also had 5 touchdowns,
but the rushing touchdowns for Kyler. I think.
Jameis Winston had 5 touchdowns and like 150 yards.
Jameis is back. Big Jameis Winston revenge tour season. I think.
I am a huge Jameis Winston supporter, and for the longest time, I couldn't figure out why. And it's 100% at the fault of the part of my take guys.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're hilarious.
And I finally finally dawned on me the other day. I was like. Because I literally made my roommate draft him like with a late fantasy pick. I'm like, Jameis Winston. And the best part was his other quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, you should have fucking started Jameis, dude. Aaron Rodgers throws up 1.3 points.
I'm in the exact. I have Aaron Rodgers and Jameis on my fantasy team. It was tough.
And
Devontae Adams.
My opinion to people out there that have Aaron Rodgers on their fantasy team. You can't be the guy who benches Aaron Rodgers after 1 week and then he goes off next week. Yeah. If he plays like dog shit this coming Sunday, then it's up for discussion.
then
because at that point he might actually have checked out of football and went back to Green Bay just to spite them and play shitty.
He has the Jeopardy gig lined right the fuck up. He's ready to go at a moment's notice. That's Aaron Rodgers. He'll bounce back. I've got him in fantasy. I'm feeling confident. And I traded away Tanyan. Got Devontae. No one cares about the fantasy team. Anyway, I hate when people talk about their fantasy teams. I'm literally doing it. I'm doing the pet peeve of myself. Yeah.
I love talking about fantasy football.
I like talking about fantasy. Fantasy's fun.
So, to kind of, I guess for now, end our football conversation. This is a tough question. I'm just going to put you on the spot, but predictions for week 2.
Okay, yeah.
Score if you want to, but who's going off? Who's doing what? What's going on?
I think the offense is going to go off, and I have fallen into the trap of always saying that, following a poor performance of the Bills, but I don't give a shit. So I think that the Bills' offense is going to come back. I think we can expect – I think we're going to – I don't want to say a high-scoring affair because I really liked what our defense showed us week 1. But I will say I think the defense was making up for the offense's shortcomings week 1. I don't think we're going to have that dominant of a defensive performance every week. Now, keep in mind, Steelers don't have a very dominant offense. They got playmakers, but so do the Dolphins. Will Fuller, they got, Waddle they just drafted. Gesicki, I think, is an extremely underrated tight end. So I'm expecting a somewhat. I would bet the over on this. If I don't know what the number is.
Over's 48.
48
right now. Yeah, on the button.
I'm 100% betting the over. I'm going to definitely take the over on that. In Miami, I think that Dolphins offense will be able to do more than if they were in Buffalo. As far as like putting up points. I don't think Tua is great, but they do have players around them. He doesn't need to throw the ball really more than 5-10 yards downfield to get some points. I'm anticipating Bills are going to win 35-25. I think Josh Allen's going to have 2 touchdown passes. He's going to have 1 pick with the 2 touchdown passes, and that's what's going to have fans and the media. Oh, no, is this because his pass rating's not going to be as high?
300 yards, you think, for Josh?
I think 300 yards for Josh. I think he's going to add some rushing yards, and I think that we need to get back to understanding Josh Allen's identity and that he put up a statistically ridiculous season last year. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to have those stats for the Bills to win a Super Bowl. That's the Brett Favre kind of, mentality. Make plays. It's so funny because his backup in Chicago, or his backup that was just in Chicago, Mitch, that was the big thing, is the guy could win games, but he didn't really put up numbers. Point of the game is to win the game. I don't really care if Josh goes out there on Sunday and throws 4 picks and we win. If he's a winner and he's even looking somewhat competent, dropping back there, passing the football, I'm all in. I don't need him to have that unbelievable season he had last year for me to feel content as a Bills fan about where we're going.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
It's, I think, so the Bills are favorites on the road at 3.5. I think that's a no-brainer.
That's no points. Maybe because they're home. Fins.
Yeah, that's definitely why.
3 points,
but,
I don't know.
that's it. They're pretty much saying it's a pick'em game, or not. But I almost think that's a little disrespectful. I think at home the Bills are probably 7-point favorites. I think 3.5 is still disrespectful because there's going to be a lot of Buffalo fans in that stadium in Miami this weekend.
That was another thing. I got to bring this up. I don't know what the hell was going on with the Pittsburgh fans. It was like a quarter of the crowd on Sunday. I don't want to bring up the Steelers game again. I've never seen so many away fans at a game.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like that's not usually something that happens there.
It was unbelievable. The amount of terrible towels.
I feel like there is a large, because of the proximity, stuff like that. I feel like
that makes sense.
Every time the Bills play at home versus the Steelers,
the fans
the Steelers have a showing.
Okay.
I feel like Bills fans too. There's a lot of I'm another one. One of my best friend is a Steelers fan. A lot of Bills. That's 2 fan bases that they commingle.
Yeah, they clash.
Blue collar.
Yeah,
play each other a lot. I don't know. Just
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go back to the Steelers. But I had to say that because I couldn't believe it.
I think that, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think that we're gonna see, a Josh Allen week. I think that.
I hope.
I think that. I did. So I saw some people, giving the take that, this was, a wake-up call that the Bills needed, coming off last season. I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they lose this game, and the reason that I say that is because we know Josh Allen. We know his personality as a football player, right? He's never been given anything, nor does he want to ever be given anything. But what we do know about him is when he doesn't do as well as he thinks he should do, he's gonna do better.
Yeah.
That's just in his blood. I think that he comes out this week. I think he goes 3 in the air, 1 on the ground. I think he has 1 on the ground, and I think it's one of those. I think it's one of those. He rolls out to the right. He's kind of waiting. They're just outside the red zone, and it ends up being like a 25-yard rush because he finds a lane up the middle and he just takes to the house untouched.
Yeah, I didn't mention this. I think he's gonna have 2 on the ground actually.
Okay,
because I was gonna say 35 points. I think he's gonna have 2 passing touchdowns. He might have a fumble in there too. I don't think you're ever going to fully get those turnovers out of his game, unfortunate as that is, whether it's because the guy he's just a freaking playmaker. I mean, he does crazy shit that us as fans we're obsessed with.
Yeah. When a quarterback fumbles the football in the way that Josh Allen does, it doesn't,
doesn't scare me the same way it doesn't
fire
Daniel
me up
Jones.
as it does when a running back. No, I'm just saying in general because they're trying to make plays a lot of times too. It's right around the line of scrimmage where they have to make that quick decision. Am I gonna when they're rolling out? Am I gonna throw this ball? Am I gonna?
Don't see a guy coming.
Yeah, exactly. And the ball.
And he has gotten better at it. Already, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
He's got better.
He didn't throw a pick in the Pittsburgh.
He didn't throw a pick, but he did have a fumble. But you didn't see the guy coming.
Yeah.
So that's where I think picks. I think picks get a lot more shit than they should. I think that was especially with Tyrod. Everyone's like he doesn't throw picks. The punts are basically it's just a long pick every time. Like Josh Allen. I mean, the Bills' offense. I think it's part of the reason they haven't been able to find out the punter situation because we don't really ever get a full good look at the guy. Like Corey, I thought Corey Bork had a pretty solid season.
Bojangles. He was. Yeah. I mean, he didn't punt a lot, but he would come in and he would
bomb it.
I mean, it was a 50-yard punt guaranteed. He never, you see NFL kickers that punt a lot. Still, they'll throw like a 30-yard dud at the worst time, and it sucks.
Yep.
He was, when our offense wasn't doing what they need to do, he was a huge help in our ability to play field position because he would pin teams deep.
And I'm not blaming. I don't want to make this seem like a shot on Hack at all as far as that block punt. because I don't think that was his fault. I think some of the coaching decisions, I don't know. We watched as fans.
The Steelers were in the backfield before the ball was even. Yeah, that
wasn't hack.
Yeah.
I mean, but again, you got a wide receiver blocking. Kumaro is there in the inside of the blocking. I'm like, what are they? I know he's a big dude, but like, just weird. I don't know. I'm trying to move on from the Steelers.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're going forward.
We are.
What do you say we do a little who would win the week?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Love it.
Who would win the week this week is a weird one, I guess. But it's Rob Gronkowski versus Will Ferrell. It would have been interesting to do Ron Burgundy, too. We've done Ron before in our three-way Ron battle.
This is Will Ferrell.
This is Will Ferrell, the actor. Yeah.
The man himself.
So
who is a big? He's a big
he's
guy.
a very big guy.
Yeah,
big dude.
So this is what I'll say. I'm gonna call Andrew out to start here. Your premise behind this fight working was that you think that because in your mind Rob Gronkowski is so dumb that anybody with any amount of intelligence would be able to beat him in a fight.
That's your premise? I just want to
That's Andrew's idea going.
That is what That is what I said.
Yeah,
absolutely,
almost word for word.
Yeah, I think basically word for word. What I said was that you could probably defeat Rob Gronkowski the same way that they took down the camel walkers in Star Wars. Is you could just wrap a jump rope around his legs and he might be like, whoa. Like I feel like you could pull one over on him pretty easily.
So I don't know if Will Ferrell's the guy to do that though.
I don't even know what I honestly am having trouble thinking of what Will Ferrell's tactic would be going
and screaming
in.
Style,
I
think.
So this is my initial take. Is that only way Will Ferrell would be able to win this fight? And now I am about to take a slight shot at Rob Gronkowski's intelligence, but not to the place where you took it.
Slight shot.
Will Ferrell is a funny bastard, and I feel like that is Gronk's type of humor. Like
that's his weakness.
Yeah. I feel like
point.
Gronk is probably a huge Will Ferrell fan. With that being said, if Will can come out and kind of, lay down some groundwork and maybe take Gronk's head out of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of a chance in this fight.
Right. He'd be able to distract him.
Yeah. I mean, if Will is capable of doing anything that he did in the movie Kicking and Screaming, I might even just take him out.
And in that movie, he learned from the best. Like, I bet you Mike Ditka would give Gronk a hell of a fight.
Absolutely.
Even at his current age. Is he still alive? I think he's
still Dicka's still alive.
Yeah.
He's still kicking. He's still kicking. Yeah, it's a good matchup. Gronk, I mean, we saw his four brothers, who I think people all consensually agree that that Gronk's a little bit better than the four brothers, but we watched his four brothers get whooped by Jake Paul in under 20 seconds each. I mean, I personally, I might even take Will Ferrell over Jake Paul. That's probably a little pushing it.
No,
I didn't know
kicking
about
and screaming stuff because this isn't
brothers.
boxing. This is
right.
This is fight to death, right?
No holds barred.
Yeah. So that's the Gronkowski's
and that's
most recent fighting.
And that's the thing about Will Ferrell is I feel like he might not be winning in this fight, like when it's coming down to it, but he would do,
whatever it took.
He's an eye gouger. He's an eye gouger. He's a ball grabber.
He's a real loose cannon.
Yeah, he'll finger your ass if he has to.
Yeah, he'll do it
to kind of free up some space for himself to make a move. With that being said, Will Ferrell would have to really be on one to distract Gronk, and the reason that I say that is because, well, it depends on how the situation
Gronk seems
starts.
pretty easily distractible.
Yeah, especially by Will Ferrell.
In public, yes. But you have to remember, I'm talking about in your everyday setting, but you have to remember that he is one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history, and you don't get to a position by being somebody who, in the moment, can easily be taken off their game. Right? So if you give him the opportunity to get in
in that
I don't want to call it war mode, but
Trey White when he hit Trey White.
Yeah,
in the back of the neck.
When he's in the zone, when he's locked in as if he was playing in a football game, I don't think Will Ferrell stands a chance.
Will Ferrell's definitely the underdog, but it's more like, do
But-
you think he can pull it out?
But you know what?
It
To
depends on
that
the
point,
scenario.
though.
If the scenario is, they're at a bar and they start chatting, and randomly, Gronk pisses Will Ferrell off, and all of a sudden he's like, "It's on."
Beer
I
bottle.
think that Gronk is at a severe disadvantage because he wasn't prepared. Whereas, as goofy and maybe unintelligent as you might think he is, when you're as old as he is, you don't play as well as you do in the National Football League without the uncanny ability to prepare yourself. That, and he's obviously very close with Tom Brady, who is a guy that prepares like nobody ever.
That's a good point. I didn't think about the Brady connection. He would get him coached up for Will. I don't know. It kind of comes back. I was listening to our Who Would Win of the Week last time. It was Mike Ditka and Belichick the last time I was on.
We did Ditka last time.
Yeah,
we did. That's so funny. That's why I was like, what are the odds? And I remember I kind of went with Bill because I thought Bill would do anything to win as far as like force lightning, pull out a lightsaber,
that's right.
Darth Sidious style. No, but like, yeah, and that's where kind of even though Gronk was a Patriot, I kind of think more Will would do whatever it took. He could make him laugh. He'd catch him off his game. It'd be a tough one. Will's a big dude, though. I think you
all
can't.
right, Andy?
Yeah, you all right?
I got something in my
got
eye,
something in
man.
his eye.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, yeah,
Look bad,
Andrew's
though.
crying.
It feels like I
Yeah.
got sunscreen.
Tears have been
it feels
shed.
like I have sunscreen.
You've probably
in my
been
eye.
touching like those peppers or some shit.
Oh fuck! No, I definitely didn't.
What'd you do?
I don't know, but that's kind of what it feels like. Oh
You
my
probably
god!
were doing something stupid.
I'm sorry, I'm
Do we need to
distracted from the
splash
Who
some
Would
water
Win.
in your eyes? We need to get
might
one of
need
those
something. One of those like
things
safety.
from health class. Yeah.
Yeah. Like flush
some
the eyes
water
out.
for your eyeball?
Oh my god. Let
You
me put
go
the-
get a napkin.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll solve it.
But we
Yeah.
battle on. So
Yeah.
I'll just hold it like an eye patch for the rest of the show. Oh my
I
god, what the fuck?
agree that Will Ferrell would do whatever it would take. Like if he had to get, scrappy, he would get scrappy.
Yeah.
I just think that we're talking about an
I'm sorry,
athletic
it's so
specimen.
distracting, I
Yeah,
know.
there's tears.
I'm looking like
everywhere.
Popeye over here.
There's
He's
too much
imagining
going
Will
on.
Ferrell just getting his absolute ass.
Yeah, he's
pounded
in
and he
tears.
just
All right.
can't
I'll be
handle it.
back.
Yeah,
I'll try and sort
yeah,
this
can't
out.
handle
Oh.
So what I was saying though, as Andrew goes, we're gonna get
He's
an
gonna
update
sort
when we
this
get back to
out.
you guys. A quick. This is our first ever medical stoppage on the podcast, or medical leave. We've never had somebody
Brought to you by
have to do
Highmark.
that. Yeah.
There we go.
Exactly.
Highmark Stadium.
But I just think that Gronk is such a physical specimen. Like we're talking. I'm gonna look up their schematics, like their height and weight.
I'm gonna guess Rob. What is he? 6'5", 6'6". He's probably 260. I'd say Will's probably 6'4", 240. Those are my guesses. Weight expert
So-
over here.
So Will Ferrell's 6'3", Gronk is 6'6". I didn't look up their weights. That's
Okay.
their own personal information.
Yeah.
I would never disclose that.
That's true. That's a good point.
I know. This is getting interesting. But
No, it's awesome.
it goes back to like the preparation thing. When you have a guy like that who is obviously so dominant at something that's so difficult to be dominant at,
Yeah.
it's just a testament to how good he is, like physically, like how well his body operates. And then when you have a guy like Will Ferrell who is big but he's goofy and he might be smarter, but he's definitely
He's
not
also
as athletically
old, too. Isn't he, like,
inclined. Probably
60-something? Not that's
he's probably
relevant.
not young, but
I forgot about that.
let's see.
That could I would take prime Will Ferrell. I might even take.
54.
Oh, he's not that old.
No, not that old.
Wow. I
He
thought he
could
was
still
older.
fight. I mean,
only
Gronk's
54,
what,
wow.
32,
30,
35?
30s.
And
Yeah.
his body's been through more than most people.
Yeah.
That was I was during an NFL season.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed. Andrew definitely didn't. But in the Bucs' first game of the season, for the first time that I can remember, Gronk was wearing no mechanical arm. He had nothing
I
but
did
like a
not
shooting
notice
sleeve
that.
on.
Really?
Yeah, he had no brace, no nothing.
robot
So he's
arm.
only getting stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's concerning. I did not know that. I did
Yeah,
not notice
so
that. Wow.
Take that into
I don't know
consideration.
how I didn't notice that. I've always noticed that.
And that's
stupid
what I mean.
robot arm.
And that's
Yeah.
why it stood out so much to me. I'm like, why does he had one little red shooting sleeve on his arm. That's it. No.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I was rooting so much for Antonio Brown that night. Maybe I wasn't even. I needed him to get 5.
Yeah, I had a
touches.
great fantasy night that week. I had
That night was fun.
I had CeeDee Lamb playing and
Yeah.
I had Chris Godwin playing.
Okay, that's
So
Godwin did great.
I had some fun.
Godwin almost fucked that game for them. That was really close. That was,
yeah, but he ended up having another touchdown
Yeah,
after that.
he
Didn't
did.
So
We did. He's good.
it all comes out in the
Yeah.
wash.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
I think I'm
a lot
right.
better.
Yeah.
His eyes are open.
I mean, my eyes are open
What'd you
right
do,
now.
Just a little splash of water and you're
Just
good to
no,
go?
like as soon as I walked out there, it started to feel better, and then
Some of this room.
I went.
bright
And
light.
It's the
it
asbestos.
might be that
Need
light.
some eye black. Yeah.
If-
Yeah, Tyler Bass, just the one.
just
eye.
one. Yeah, just one.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Reggie. What was that guy?
Which
Roy,
one?
the guy you mentioned that hates
Raymond.
it. Oh yeah, shout out to Ray. Shout out to
Oh
Ray.
my gosh, I
Um,
gotta tell him that's hilarious. Yeah.
yeah. As soon as I grabbed the tissue, I like did that, and then I have this like water bottle fresh out of the fridge that I just put on there,
Always good to
eye
slap a
patch
nice
style.
Take the swelling down a little bit.
fresh
I don't know
water
what was
bottle
it.
on
It
your
felt
eye.
like some kind of chemical burning. Like
So before
I
we
don't know
get too
what
far
happened.
away from it, let's lock in our picks on the Who in the Week. Then
Okay.
we'll discuss the
okay, I really think that Will. It's weird. You know what? Okay, so you know what could happen though is yes, Will could distract Gronk, but Gronk might enjoy it so much that he actually kills Will Ferrell,
Oh,
like
shit.
Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Like, that's what I think could potentially happen here. Gronk is like, yeah, this is great. I love this guy. And then he maybe, like, lovingly punches him on the shoulder and, like, his whole spine comes out. Or maybe, like,
Okay.
puts him in a fun headlock and then his head snaps off.
Flip side of that, not
Yeah.
to keep going with Mice and Men. Maybe that's how
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell just walks him over to a lake.
Yeah, says let's pet the rabbit.
Yeah, that's what
pet the rabbits, Rob, and then he just tees off. On the
Yeah,
rabbit's
that's what
head.
I was
Yeah.
kind of. That's what I was
Execution
thinking.
style.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh, man. Which one of those is more likely? That's tough.
I think
really
the
tough.
I think the latter. I gotta be honest.
I was gonna say I've read the book, and that's what happened.
Yeah, that is.
Right.
What but yeah, but that's after.
In Lenny
Lenny
versus
does some
George,
damage.
George
Yeah.
does win.
Yeah. Is it Lenny versus George? Or is this? Yeah, that would basically be.
I mean, technically,
Yeah,
I guess.
that's
But
basically what you're
technically,
looking at.
Lenny
Yeah.
doesn't go at George though violently.
He doesn't need to.
Yeah, George sets it up so that he doesn't
but
have Lenny.
that's a
And
good
that,
who
that
would
would
win,
be
Lenny
that would
or
be the
George?
situation.
Yeah.
In a fair fight. Finally,
Lenny.
They get to-
justice
we
for
get to know.
hashtag justice for Lenny.
Justice for Lenny. Lenny didn't do anything, dude. He
Well,
Didn't he
Well,
kill?
he
I
did
never
kill
read. I
him.
never
He killed
read
the
book.
woman,
Yeah,
right?
he killed
he
the
killed the
woman.
woman.
Yeah.
When it's a
kind
human.
of by accident.
Well, I
Kind
think
of.
isn't that the whole point that it is by accident?
Yeah.
I mean, he's.
Well, he just doesn't know his own
We never
strength.
know. We
Yeah.
never-
It was-
yeah. We don't get to know that. That's up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
This really turned into just Lenny and George.
to break it down that way, though, then I reconvinced myself that it's Will. I guess.
Yeah, I've actually talked myself into the Will thing after that.
That's
like,
a hard thing to. Yeah, if we're
Because
looking
he could
at it that
easily
way.
distract him enough and be like, and Gronk be like, yeah, see Gronk, don't you like the footballs? Look at the footballs, and then just boom,
Yeah.
and then he's done.
Yeah.
Two great impressions
Yeah.
from you today,
He's
Bernie.
that was-
a
yeah, that
wonderful
was- yeah.
Norm and a great
Yeah.
Gronk.
Gronk's pretty easy. You just go,
So-
"Ooh, my name
yeah.
Gronk, catch ball. Like,
Matt
that's- yeah.
Damon.
Yeah.
You
So
just do Matt Damon.
I'm gonna stick with Gronk here because I feel like you can't undersell his freakish athletic ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
If-
fair, and
listen,
that makes
if
sense.
Will Ferrell gets the better of him mentally, then good for Will Ferrell. But if that isn't the case, then Gronk, tees
He's
off
run
on
away
Will
with it.
Ferrell to death. And
And he
RIP
might
to-
underestimate him too, because I feel like if you're Gronk, one of the things about Gronk, and obviously he like has so much fun, it's because he must feel like nothing can kill him.
He's
because so
overly
like nothing can.
confident,
Yeah, a little
Definitely
bit in his ability.
Yeah, but
Will
I
could
don't
work
think
that to
I
his
don't
favor.
think he would ever underestimate. I don't think Gronk. That's Brady Belichick mindset
Right.
101.
Yeah.
You don't ever underestimate somebody.
Right.
So I don't think.
Although I don't think of Gronk as like a Belichick like kind of mind, you know, like he was never a fan. I
No,
feel like.
but he was there for so long. He in some
Had to
way,
absorb
shape, form,
some.
he has to have adapted it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
And
That's
again, he's also played in the league for so long when a lot of people thought that he wasn't going to be able to sustain a career because of his injuries. So
Yep. And then he comes out and scores the most touchdowns ever by a tight
so
end or
we're
whatever.
yeah, exactly. So we're
Yeah,
2-1. Two.
Yeah,
Will
I'm taking
Ferrells,
Will. I'm taking Will.
Yeah.
2 Will Ferrells, 1
After the
Gronk.
Lenny thing.
There's a lot of different ways you can look at this fight, and I think that's where the discrepancy comes in. But vote on that on Friday on our Instagram story. Let us know what you think. It'll be posted by none other than yours truly, Andy. So go on there. Let us know what you think. Take a vote on that. Check out what other people think. And Yeah, I like that Who Win the Week.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It was
I don't know,
a
Gronk
lot
was
more
so tall.
interesting than I thought. How tall is Gronk?
6'6".
We
Will
looked it up
Ferrell's
while you were
6'3".
having an
Really?
eye reaction.
3 inches. Can't change your pick anymore. Sorry.
You
know
know
No,
that.
I would say I'm good with that.
Yeah,
he's
I know.
younger than I thought. He's like 50 something
He's
too.
54.
Well,
Right.
I would have said 70s. I did not know he was that young.
I don't know if I'd be able to guess Will Ferrell's age. Gun
He
to my
looks
head, it'd be
old.
tough.
Not
he
to be a
does
dick,
look
but,
well.
like,
and
he
then
does look-
sometimes
like
he
if you
looks
see
young.
if
He's
you
not
see
aged
him
well.
if you see him like just in
Recently.
like a video or something, not like in a movie, like you
looks
can
even
tell
worse.
he looks old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Like
a nice
his
guy,
hair-
though, probably. Actually, I've heard that he isn't. I'm not
Really?
trying to. I've heard.
I feel like I've
Yeah.
also heard that he's a bit of an asshole.
I've heard that, but also a lot of people don't like Will Ferrell movies. So that
And
could just
also,
Right.
I feel like him being an asshole is like kind of his sense of humor off screen. Like I bet
that
you
was
could
Norm's.
be.
A lot of people didn't like Norm Macdonald for the same reasons, and now we're all
Yeah.
honoring him as a comedic great because he really was. But like that kind of humor sometimes.
Right, especially because I feel like those are two guys in particular that are really like they're just funny all the time. You know, what I mean? Like they just
They
kind
can't turn
of
it
make
off.
exactly. They just kind of that just becomes their personality.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think Will Ferrell. That's an interesting point. I think he definitely has rubbed people the wrong way just because he's like, this is funny. Like that's really what I care about is
Yeah.
just being
I love
funny.
Will Ferrell.
So
Yeah, makes himself
Me too.
laugh. Yeah.
I think he's awesome.
He's probably like, I don't care about these people. Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. And also, I'm a big believer in like, there's a time and place to try to have a conversation with celebrities. And I feel like every time you hear somebody like, oh, they didn't sign my autograph, it's like
They're at
they
the
were
pool
at
with their kids.
they were at dinner. Yeah, they were at
Yeah.
dinner with their wife or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
yeah, I heard. I actually heard a story about Will Ferrell like at. He was at dinner with some guys. This was like an Andy Richter story, and they were shooting the fucking basketball movie. What is it?
Semi-Pro.
Semi-Pro. Yeah.
That movie's awesome.
And they all went to this dinner, and like people just kind of started like creeping up, and he had to like get up in the restaurant and be like, we're gonna eat, and then afterwards we'll do it. So there's like 4 of them at this table, and they eat, and as soon as they're done, the other 3 guys like couldn't even see Will Ferrell anymore because he was just
Really?
mobbed by people.
That is a
like,
great movie, The Flint Tropics. What a story.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Jackie Moon. What a legend. Anyway, yeah, that's what was I gonna say? The one of the toughest times of my life ever. One of the toughest moments I've ever had is I came in, I walked in, and my roommate's watching Land of the Lost, and the movie had just started. That's like one of my favorite movies ever. Have you guys ever seen
Really?
Land of the
Yeah.
Lost? I love it. I think it's hilarious. They hated it. They already had it on, and they were like, "That was the unfunniest movie I've ever seen." And I never really recovered from that because I love Land of the Lost.
That
A lot of
movie gets
people have-
a lot of shit.
Yeah,
That
it gets a
movie-
lot of
Will
shit.
Ferrell himself is a polarizing figure. Like people
Yeah,
either
it's
think
true.
he's hysterical or they're like, "This is the stupidest
He's a
dude
dick.
ever."
Yeah.
I watched Get Hard again the other night because that's on HBO Max, and that movie makes me laugh too.
That's a good movie. Everybody's good in that movie.
Yeah,
Um,
Kevin Hart's a funny bastard.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just remembered "Love Me Sexy."
Yeah.
That was from
Yeah,
what was that song?
It's called "Love Me Sexy." I actually have it on my phone. I play it every once in a while.
We
Yeah,
brought up Kicking and Screaming a lot today also, which is
Yeah.
so funny because I actually wrote Kicking and Screaming down like related to something else on
Let's
my
hear
note
it.
cards.
Yeah.
No, it's not. We don't
I
get
had,
to actually get into what's on there,
I
but that's
had,
just funny. That's an underrated movie, I think.
It's a great.
I had a
movie.
kicking and screaming moment not too long ago. I was
The fact of that movie, like how that that little kid is his brother.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
all
like his
weird.
kid's uncle. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Holy shit.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
I never understood that growing up too. I'm like, wait, what is it? Like, how is that even possible? And then,
Yeah.
like, I-
Well, that's
oh,
the
oh,
thing is,
shit.
it's kind of was like made as a kids movie, but
Yeah.
it's
It's
not a
so
kids
much
movie.
funnier to watch when you're like as an
Yeah.
adult.
Shout out to Beans from Even Stevens.
Yeah,
he
he's
gets a
in that
lot of
movie.
play
Yep.
in that
Yeah.
movie.
Yep.
What is the short little Asian kid's name? Like,
Oh my gosh!
man.
Oh my gosh! It's gonna kill me. What? And they're like, "Come on, you got it, honey." Like
Yeah.
the moms, the
Yeah.
lesbian
because
moms.
Back when that was like a big
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. Like, oh
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
really?
this
is gonna be
It's
hilarious.
wild that this is
Yeah.
happening.
Two moms.
Take it easy on him. Hey, you take it easy on that corduroy jacket of yours. And she's like,
Yeah.
that's
my one of my old roommates, his name on NHL, like his player's name in the video game, was the name of that little Asian kid, and I wish I
Oh,
could think
what is
of
the
it.
name? It's
Yeah.
gonna come
We
to us
can look
later.
it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell my kicking and screaming moment. We were old teammate of mine had asked me to sub in for like a hockey game that he was playing in. They had a playoff game, and a bunch of their guys from their team couldn't make it, and they were playing a pretty good team, and they're like, we need to make sure we have guys. Will you come play? And I'm like, of course. So I go play, and the team that we were playing was pretty good. They had two players in particular. What is it?
It's something Sun.
Byung Sung.
Byung Sung.
I said, yeah.
Byung Sung.
I've already made the decision.
Yeah.
Right, what were you gonna say?
So I'm playing in this hockey game, and the other team, they have two players, and specifically one of who I know that are very, very good hockey players. So, we're going into the third period, and it's like a tight game, and we're like, oh, they really want to win because it's their team, it's the playoffs. And I'm like, I want to win for them, and I don't like to lose, but I'm just having fun. And they're all talking in between the period. I went over to the bench, and I said, guys, it's just like kicking and screaming. I said, just don't let them pass the Italians, and there's no way we lose this game. And guess what? We went into overtime. The Italians were on the ice, and we lost the game.
Damn it.
Damn Italians.
It was textbook kicking and screaming.
Oh, damn Italians. There you go.
They weren't. Neither of them are Italian. What? I don't know, but
That's hilarious.
Metaphor.
Man, I do love that movie. I was just checking out Elliot Cho, who
Byung Sung.
plays Byung Sung.
And remember they
like
put
his,
him on
I
the
was checking
big,
out his
the
IMDb.
big kid's shoulders.
Yeah.
and
That's a
they make
classic.
a stack.
Mega Man.
Yeah.
You guys get some kind of Mega Man thing going. They're like, what? Like,
Yeah.
why would we even do that? It's
Yeah, and it works.
yeah.
That's
I don't
so
think
interesting.
that's
That's
legal,
one of
though,
those
but-
things where like you have to, when you're writing a movie like that, like
Yeah.
a kid's sports movie, you have to think of like what's their Mighty Ducks V move gonna be, right?
was
Like
the
what's
move.
their special move, and it's just putting one kid on top of another kid.
And bringing in Mike Ditka.
He was hilarious in that movie. That was just yelling about
No
everything.
smoking in the house.
Yeah, no smoking in that. And then just Will Ferrell firing him. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm no juice box boy. Like, it's just like, oh,
Yeah, Will
electric.
Ferrell takes on a persona in that movie.
It's
The other
pretty wild.
guys also, because
That's like my
ties
favorite
into-
movie of all time.
That's one
Yeah.
that might
Data needs his
that
gas.
I
movie
think it's my
is
favorite of
so
all time.
perfect. It's unbelievable. Also,
I was Will
It's
Ferrell.
unbelievable.
I was-
Dirty Mike
Mike and the
has
Dirty
an
Mike and the
Academy Award.
Boys.
Dirty Mike has an Academy Award.
Mike and the Boys.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
Like, actually? You're not like, you just.
the guy. So the guy who plays Dirty Mike
Yeah.
is Adam McKay, who directed that movie, and he and Will
Okay.
Ferrell. He and Will Ferrell started Funny or Die and Gary Sanchez, the
Okay.
production company that does all Will Ferrell's movies. So he also wrote and directed The Big Short and Vice.
Wow.
And so
Okay.
he has
He's
an Academy
Dirty
Award.
Mike?
And he's Dirty Mike, dude. Dirty
Big
Mike
Short's
has
a
Turn
Wow.
this
Good
Prius
movie.
into an F shack. You
Yeah.
wanna, like,
I was,
that guy's
We
got-
will have sex in
Yeah.
your car
My,
again.
my roommate and I were
dude.
Will Ferrell and
So
Mark
good.
Wahlberg from the other guys for Halloween last
Halloween.
year, and we
That's
did
awesome.
a pretty good job because he's like short and like really
Yeah.
like pretty jacked, and I'm mean.
Somebody
and I,
the other
I can play
day-
a good Will Ferrell. I can be goofy. Yeah.
The other day, somebody said to me, Matt should dress up as Alan from the other guys.
Yeah, we
And
did.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he did one
yeah,
year.
we did. Yeah, me and yeah.
Alan. Oh, that's the best character. He is
Yeah.
hilarious in that movie. Oh, my goodness.
Well, Andy, what else you got for us?
You can't top. I mean, we
No,
could sit
I
here
was gonna
talking
say,
like
talk
just
about Will
talk
Ferrell
about
for
the other
like
guys
2
for
hours.
so
We
much,
should.
but because then
Yeah.
goddamn, but just everybody go rewatch both of those movies because
Yeah.
Kicking and Screaming
Watch
does
them
not
all.
get enough
Watch.
play.
Yeah.
We named. Yeah, it's on something too.
It's probably. I feel like it's on HBO Max.
Land of the Lost. Great movie. If you
Land of
don't
the
like it, you're an
Lost.
asshole.
I mean, if we're talking about greatest movies of all time that people throw disrespect on, then The Love Guru is number one. But
Have you seen that,
I've not
Bernie?
seen the Love
Oh,
Guru. Wait,
okay.
Love Guru. Who's in this?
Mike
Mike
Myers.
Myers.
That's the
It's the
one.
hockey
I
movie.
like Mike Myers. Sounds
It's the
It
one
is
where
so
he
fucking
is
funny.
like, no, it's really not.
It
It's
is-
really not that good.
There is so many lines
best-
in that movie that are
The
funnier
funniest-
than any
Love
other
Guru.
line in any other
All right, I'm
movie
gonna
I've
give it- I'm
ever
gonna
seen.
watch
The
it.
funniest part of that movie is a joke they stole from the George Lopez show,
Which was?
where is
Electric
when
show.
they
What about Stink Mop?
show what?
Stink Mop.
Yeah, that's not
That's funny.
not on the list.
Or when he's
But it's when they show Mike Myers as a little kid, but he's still got Mike Myers
Yeah.
like
Oh, my goodness.
man head.
that's one of the best.
That's a
when he
George.
goes-
That's
when he
classic George
goes-
Lopez.
when
That's
he
a classic
goes-
Mike Myers
when
thing, though.
when he's like, why do you want to become a guru? And he's like, because I want to pick up chicks. And he's like, why are you here? And he's like, my parents are dead.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like,
That is
and he's
funny.
like, what did your
What
parents
the
do? And he was like, well, first they were missionaries. And then they became dog stylists. And he's like, oh, so your parents were into missionary before the doggy style? And he
Oh,
laughs
my
and he goes,
goodness.
haha, yeah, make fun of my dead parents or something. Yeah, that's hysterical.
Make fun of my dead parents. Jeez. Yeah, I got to give that a watch. I have not seen that. But
yeah, check it out. Let us know.
I'll rate it. Buff Mafia _716.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Branching out into movie reviews.
As we get out of here, thank you so much again for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. This has been
we appreciate you driving here.
Of course.
You had a little bit of a drive to get here. It's awesome that you could come to the studio. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Long season ahead.
Check out Buff Mafia _716 on Instagram. The content's going to be out there. You're going to want to be involved with what's going on with the Bills this season because they're going 16-0 after the first game. We don't count that. So undefeated, and then they go into the Super Bowl. So, yeah. It's technically, in my book, still first season with 17 games. That was still preseason,
technically.
First season with 17 games. If you go 16-1, the loss was the first game of the season, you still went undefeated.
We'll just call that the fourth preseason game because they were the extended 17-game season.
Wow, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, it's
that like Rubik's Cube together in my head.
And
that makes a lot of sense.
Rubik's Cube the shit out of it.
I've already spin zoned this as well, that because there's more games, one loss is actually worth less. So it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
It adds up. It adds up.
Yeah.
Man, Bernie, thanks for being here, man.
You guys rock.
You said it already, but yeah, really glad we got to have you in the studio. I wanted you to check it out for a while.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's fantastic. You guys all can't see, but it's really beautiful.
Somebody told me the other day that it looks bigger on screen, which is good.
We do that on purpose.
It does. But it's not small. I mean,
this room's like 40 by 40.
I don't. That's
45.
I have a big issue with measurements of any kind.
That would be big.
That's a very
Andrew. That would be big. That would probably be a lot bigger than this room is. This room's probably
40 by 40.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what.
Because I was like, that sounds
15 by
kind of
45.
right. That's how
I have no idea. Feet? Like
40 by 40 would be a big room. 40 feet by 40 feet would be a big room. Is what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
Would be a lot.
This is not that big.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here because I don't know. I'm going to lose
You guys rock. I appreciate it again.
Yeah.
This was
coming on.
fantastic. Yeah.
Andy, I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here.